Welcome back to the holding space. Today, I want to open a conversation that most of us avoid, but I believe is one of the most important we can have: death. I'm not talking about just our physical death, but the little deaths that happen throughout our lives, such as the ending of an identity, the releasing of a pattern, the transformation that asks us to step into the unknown. I personally think about death a lot. I always have. Honestly, I've come to romanticize it a little bit. I'm not saying that's the healthiest way to approach it. It's just what's been true for me. I really appreciate content that brings humor and curiosity to the idea of death. For example, I love Mythical Kitchen's last meals concept, imagining what someone would choose if they knew it was their final moment. To me, those things are not morbid. They feel very human, very real, and it's a great reminder that death is woven into our lives, whether we acknowledge it or not. When I think about death, I also think about the way people talk at the end of their lives. Many older adults reflect on regrets. They ask themselves, what if I had taken that risk? More specifically, what if I had married that person? What if I had left that job or started that business? What if I had chosen differently? Those regrets often come from delaying change until the very end, waiting until they felt ready. But by then, time has already run out. That's why I believe it's so important to reflect on this now while we're living, while we still have choices in front of us. Every time we face the fear of change, every time we allow an old self to die, we give ourselves the chance to live without that regret. We give ourselves the chance to step into the life we actually want to live instead of waiting until it's too late. As I've mentioned, I'm a practicing therapist, and what I've noticed when clients come into therapy is that many of them are seeking change. They want to shed what's no longer working, and when they find themselves standing at the edge of transformation, they freeze and they get stuck. Not because they're weak or they're chickening out, but because crossing into something new feels almost like a death. It requires a kind of death. The death of who they were, the death of what felt safe, even if it was painful. And that moment, that freeze, is exactly like standing face to face with death. It's terrifying because you don't know what's on the other side. You only know that if you step through, you will never be the same again. In psychology and spirituality, people sometimes call this ego death. It's not about literally dying or losing yourself. It's about shedding the layers of your identity that no longer fit so something new can emerge and grow. That's why I think about death not just in the physical sense, but also as a metaphor for the ways we live. Every big decision, every change, every surrender requires us to let go of something, and letting go is a small death. So, why does this matter? Because avoiding death, whether the actual end of life or the small symbolic deaths of change, also means avoiding growth. We delay thinking about physical death until we're older because a small part of us might believe we'll be more prepared then. But the truth is, death is always present. It doesn't wait for us to be ready, and neither does change. What if instead of running from it, you learn to sit with it? To ask yourself, what needs to die in me for me to live more fully? Maybe it's an old belief that you're not enough. Maybe it's a relationship that no longer aligns with who you're becoming. Maybe it's the identity of being the person who always plays it safe. The fear we feel in those moments isn't weakness. It's a natural response to standing on the threshold of the unknown. Our nervous system craves the familiar. The unknown feels like death. But if we can recognize that fear for what it is, we can also recognize the possibility on the other side. So, all that being said, this is a guided meditation channel, so let's go ahead and get into a short meditation together now. Find a quiet, comfortable position and close your eyes if it's safe to. Allow your body to rest and take a slow, deep breath in and let it go. Another deep breath in and a long exhale out. As you settle, I want to invite you to reflect on endings, change, and the life that waits on the other side of fear. Imagine yourself standing at the end of a long hallway. Behind you are doors that have already closed, choices you've made, paths you've walked, chapters that are complete. Ahead of you, there is one more doorway. You can't quite see what's on the other side, but you can feel that it's calling you forward. Pause here. Notice what comes up inside of you. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's hesitation. Maybe it's the thought of, I don't know if I'm ready yet. Take a breath with that feeling. Let it be here. Gently remind yourself, every ending is also a beginning. Now imagine yourself many years from now looking back on today. You see the choices you made, the fears you overcame, the times you chose to live instead of holding back. Notice how proud you feel of yourself for being brave, for stepping through when it was hard. Now imagine the opposite. Looking back and realizing you waited, delayed, or froze until it was too late. Notice the weight of regret that brings. Feel the difference between those two paths. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, release the weight of regret. Say silently to yourself, I choose to live now. I choose to let go of what no longer serves me. I choose courage over delay. Repeat softly in rhythm with your breath. I release the fear of endings. I step into the unknown with trust. I live now, so I will not regret later. Every death within me makes space for new life. Let your breath return to a natural rhythm. Feel yourself here, alive in this moment. There is no need to wait until the end to honor life. You can honor it now with every choice you make, with every step you take forward. When you're ready, slowly bring your awareness back to the room around you. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you open your eyes, carry with you the reminder that you are free to live without regret, starting right now. Thank you for listening and sitting with me in this conversation. I know death can feel heavy, but my hope is that by bringing it into the light, it feels less like something to fear and more like something to learn from. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What has your relationship with death or with change taught you about living? Leave me a comment below, and if this conversation resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it. Until next time, take care.